Kia ora whanau. Thanks for tuning in once again. This is one of many videos produced by Maths OSC on the Statistics and Calculus curriculum in New Zealand. Today we're going to illustrate sampling without replacement using a probability tree. If you're not sure what this is about, then I suggest you watch the probability trees sampling with replacement video. And if you need to brush up on your probability, you might want to do that before you watch this video. So the best thing to do is to crack on with an example, and everything should become crystal clear. Alright, so here's a scenario. Two cards are drawn from a deck of cards, playing cards that is. Let's assume the dealer is interested in hearts only. So we're going to say we got a deck of 52 cards, so no special decks with extra jokers or anything that you may have experienced in the past. And remember, there are 4 suits in a deck, so if we divide 52 by 4, we'll get 13. So there are 13 hearts only. Alright, so we're going to use a probability tree to illustrate the scenario. Now, we're going to have... Well, let me start with this first branch. So we're going to deal with the first card that is drawn out, because remember, there are actually 2 cards that are drawn out. So the scenario here is either we have a heart or we don't have a heart. So that's pretty straightforward, yeah? Okay, so in terms of the probability, we're looking at 13 over 52. 13 hearts that are available out of the 52 cards. Pretty simple, right? And in terms of the rest of the deck, there are 39 cards out of the deck of 52, which are of course not a heart. So that's the first card. Now let's deal with this second card that's also drawn. So we need to extend our branch, or our branches of the probability tree, to account for the second card. So here I've drawn the other branches to represent the other 2 cards, and I've put on the 2 outcomes here. So we've got a heart and a heart. And there we go, we've got no heart and no heart. So in terms of the numbers that we're going to use, or the probability we're going to fill out, is right here, 13 over 52. So it seems pretty straightforward, and I'm pretty confident you could employ your mathematical prowess and complete the rest of the tree. But let me stop you there and tell you that whatever you were thinking, you're wrong. The reason is, we are not looking at an equally likely outcome. Because remember, once the 2 cards are drawn from the deck, they're removed. So when we take the first card out of the deck, there are no longer 52 cards available, there are only 51. And also, if that card is a heart, there are no longer 13 hearts available, but 12. So we end up with this probability here, 12 divided by 51. Now if we look at this probability, 39 out of 51, when we draw the second card, there are still 39 cards which are not hearts that are left in the deck. Because remember, the first card was a heart. But we have 51 cards, because 1 has been removed. So we're looking at 39 out of 51. And so, for the lower branch, we are definitely looking at 51 cards. However, pay attention to the numbers that I'm putting in the numerator. If we're going down the branch where we're drawing no hearts at all, we're starting off with 39 over 52 and we're finishing with 38 over 51. And finally, if the first card is not a heart but the second card is, we're looking at a probability of 13 divided by 51. What I want to really point out to, let me just backtrack a little bit. Before I list the outcomes, I suggest you maybe have a look at this little piece of notation here. So I'm going to put that up there. It's the upside down U. Looks like a little shoehorn or something similar to that. Perhaps a tunnel. But in probability notation, you may have seen this before, and we're going to consider it an AND. So let's quickly just list these outcomes because we want to move on with things here. Right, so we've got heart and heart. That's along the top, the top two branches of the tree. And then the next branch down, we've got heart and a no heart. I hope you can see that. It should be pretty clear. And then we have no heart and heart. So remember, we're reading the tree from left to right here. And lastly, we've got no heart and no heart. Alright, so let's answer a couple of questions, calculating some probabilities. So we're going to calculate the probability that in two cards, there will be no heart. So we're looking at a scenario where we draw two cards and we don't get a heart out of it. Okay, so remember, two cards, and let's look at the first card first, and then look at the second card. So we're looking at a scenario along that branch right there. And in terms of the outcome, it is that one down the bottom where we've got no heart and no heart. So in terms of the probability here, let us press on and say that the probability of no heart and no heart equals to 39 divided by 52. Because we're multiplying along the branch, or we're considering outcomes from the left to the right of the tree, we're going to multiply the probabilities together. So we're going to multiply 39 over 52 by 38 over 51. And in terms of your answer, it's good to express it as a decimal here, 0.5588. And that's obviously correct because I've put a nice red tick there. Okay, so we'll ask one more question before we finish this video. Calculate the chance the first card drawn is a heart. Have a look at the tree and see if you can spot where the first heart is. So, oh, I kind of skipped ahead a little bit there. Let me backtrack. So we're looking at heart and heart and heart and no heart. Remember, we're looking at the very first card. So in terms of where that is on the tree, there we go. That is there. Okay, I'm not sure why I highlighted that up a bit there, but that's okay. Hopefully just keep your eye on the tree there, and we're going to point out the two branches that are going to be relevant to us. So in terms of the calculation part, probability of heart and heart, so drawing two hearts, and then the probability of heart and no heart. So in both these scenarios, it's important to note that this is when the cards are drawn, the two cards are drawn, and the first card is a heart. Okay, so with that probability up there, we've got 13 divided by 52 times 12 over 51. So that's that yellow sort of circular bit of highlighted on the tree, and we're going to write that in a decimal, 0.05882. So let's deal with the other probability here, 13 divided by 52 times 39 divided by 51. So that's along that purple circular area that I've highlighted there on the tree. And that equals to 0.1912. Now, it's important to note also that I'm rounding to 4 significant figures here. It's good practice maybe to just write or round with 4 significant figures. So we're not done yet because we've got to add these two things together. Lo and behold, we get the answer of 1/4 or 0.25. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave comments or feedback if you have any further questions. Thank you.